Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? In that whole big old house that Teresa has, are you telling me that there is no other room that you can bring your girlfriends over to and do this body sculpting with the cup squeezing and pushing up your booty cheeks? You got booty cheek juice of yours, your friends, and the lady that's doing it. You have all this equipment and all these booty cheeks out in your kitchen. The kitchen. That big old house. You don't have a glam room or girls' room. You don't have no other room off to the side somewhere in that big old house. You have to do body sculpting treatments inside of the kitchen where you cook and eat, and there's fruit. And, well, hey, besties. Let's get into this episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, episode 2, The Icing on the Brain Cake. Okay, let's see. I'm going to rate this episode. It was okay. I'll give it last week's. Man, that episode took off like a shooting star. It was an A plus. This week's I'm gonna it was a B. Let's just do a B. It was pretty good. The episode starts off, well, Danielle takes Valentina, her 6-year-old daughter, to have photo shoots. She needs new photo shots. She hasn't taken pictures since she was 2. So I believe that was before the pandemic. So Valentina has been signed with the Professional Talent Agency. So they're taking pictures. The whole family's there and good for them. And she was just telling us, like updating us about the family. She doesn't talk to her dad. Now remember, her brother won't talk to her, but and so she doesn't talk to her dad because he did not come to her defense when she would send him gifts, and her brother would send them back, honey. He whatever she did, I don't remember. If you remember, besties, put it in the chat. I can't remember what their issues were, but he was like, "No, thank you. You can have your gifts back." That man actually spent money to go to the post office to send your stuff back. Okay, so she says she has a great relationship with her mom, but she just doesn't talk to Pops because he doesn't defend her, don't protect her, none of that. But the dad still has a great relationship with her kids. So they're getting ready to head out to the Jersey Shores to celebrate Nate's, that's her husband, to celebrate Nate's surgery. He had a health scare and almost died. And it's been 6 years. So she wants to celebrate him in the New Jersey Shores. So I believe her father was going to watch the kids. So they're talking about, how Nate is going to get the kids there because she don't deal with them. Okay, we got that. And so now that her business is doing so good, her business is Bougie Kids, and they're headed to, she was invited to the New York Fashion Week this year. And so she just talks about how this is a like very good accomplishment. She's made like 7 of her own outfits right in New Jersey. So Nate is explaining to Valentina what that means. And so she's all, her 6-year-old self is like, oh yeah, she's excited. So back to Nate, he had a cyst on his brain back in 2017, and the surgery was very scary. So she's throwing him a big old party. And I think that is just really a nice idea. So then we go to Dolores. She's at home with Polly. She moved in with him a year ago. And so she's sitting at the bar stool at the counter, and she's on her laptop, got her glasses on. And so she's back selling real estate because her and Frank used to flip houses. And Polly is into real estate, I believe. So now she's like, yeah, me and you, we can do this together. And so he's like, oh, so you want me to do your work for you? And so they laughed and all that. So Teresa and Louie are at the house and they're getting ready because Louie's father, who is Louie Sr., they're getting ready to celebrate his 8th year of sobriety. Some agency, some facility, they have a party. And so this is his 8th year. And so he's going to be rewarded with a coin this year. And so they're talking about the plans for the weekend. And so they are in fact going to Nate's party. And then they got to come back because Gabriella is headed off to college. And that I always liked her. She always seemed very opposite of Gia. You know, Gia acts like Teresa. And Gabriella was just like cool, calm. That Melania, she acted like Joe. And then Adriana was just the baby. She hadn't decided which road she was going to take. But Gabriella was always just chill. Like she was seemed smart. So Teresa said she was the rock of the family. They're going to miss her. And that she really acts like her mother, Teresa's mom. So she takes after her grandmother. Um, so then they talk about, well, actually, Teresa talks about how she loves Louie's dad and the family is real cool and they really love her. And so there's that on that. And so they couldn't talk about Margaret because there's a lawsuit going on. Ooh, honey. And so Teresa is so sure that she's gonna be laughing. They were gonna laugh in her face. Wait till she looks stupid when she loses and blah blah blah. She had that same energy like when she told Melissa at the reunion, like, I don't have to look at you no more because you're not coming back. You know, like, excuse you. And Andy was looking at her like, did I tell you that? Where did you get that information from? Oh no, she's coming back. And we see she's back. So then we go to, speaking of Melissa, then we go to, now we're at a restaurant because they're getting ready to celebrate Antonia's 18th birthday. And you know, Melissa is emotional because she remembers back in 2005 when she had her and they had to cut her open. And the boys are looking like, ooh, really? So Antonia wanted a birthday brunch with her family and friends. So all of Melissa's family is there. No one on Joe's side is there. No one. It's like, did I don't know. They don't have any cousins. I don't. Oh, they. Huh. Well, no one was there from Joe's family. And so Melissa is at the table trying to tell Antonia when she goes off to college, she wants her to explore her oats. Ma'am, what? Explore your oats. Explore your wild oats. And Joe's not saying anything because I thought that would have made him go, no, we don't want her to explore any oats. So then one of her sisters from across the table said, sow your wild oats. And so then Melissa's like, what does that even mean? And it's like, what? Why did you even say that? I'm sure there was a lot of other things you could have thought to say besides explore your oats when you don't even know what the oats mean. And Antonia is just sitting there cringing, just like, mommy, would you please be quiet? Like, oh my God, like you're so embarrassing. So Mike shows Joe the table that he has his ring on there and he's engaged. His fiance is with him and he's showing the ring. Now, I'm not sure who Mike is, but later on in the episode, it seems like the fiance name is Nick. And Nick has the same last name as Melissa's mother. So I'm going to assume that Joe was sitting next to the fiance and Nick was sitting next to Mike. And Nick may be Melissa's brother. We're going to assume that. I don't remember them. I don't. Do you guys, besties, can you put that in the chat? Do we know Nick, Mike? Who are these people? We know they're gay and we know they're getting married. And and Mike is like, he wants Joe to marry them. He wants him to get ordained. So Joe is at the table. He's like, yes, call me Father Joe. And because he says, you were there for me when I came out. You didn't, bully me or anything like that. And so Joe's like, yeah, man, I love you. They hug. And I just like Joe. I just really like Joe. Joe is so cool. I just don't get Teresa's thing. But I think it's really not. Teresa loves her brother. I think she just hates Melissa that much for some reason. And Melissa just seems so cool to me. So anyway, they're back at Teresa's. Gia is in the kitchen, close to where the booty cheeks were being sculpted, booty juice in the air. So Gia just graduated from Rutgers in 2023. She got her degree in criminal justice and she's into immigration law because of her dad. And so now I think she's on her second job, and then she's in corporate law. She likes it. And so she's studying for the LSAT. And so Teresa asked her, like, when is your next test? So it sounds like, Gia may have flunked, didn't pass the first test. So she's going to reapply. And that was nice. I'm so happy for Gia. So Jennifer and Danielle come over to Teresa's for this sculpting treatments, and Teresa's laying their booty cheeks out, got the suction cups on her butt, and they're trying to gauge how hard or how intense that she wants the treatments to go, and blah, blah, blah. So who's over there? Danielle and Jennifer. Jennifer, her ace boom cone. So then we see that Margaret, Melissa, and Rachel, they go pickleballing. And Rachel talks about her arthritis and what happened when she was a kid. And so sometimes her arm really hurts because of the arthritis. So Melissa talks about her mom just broke her elbow holding her grandson. And she has stitches under her chin and broke her elbow. And she saved the baby but hurt herself. And she says, and so Melissa says she'll be at the shores also at the house. And since everybody's coming that weekend, she decided to throw Joe his birthday party because his birthday is that weekend. Okay, so then Rachel tells us that Joe was selling pot at 17 and he got arrested. And that's the story. That's the end. So, Teresa's running around here, keeps throwing up the drug dealer thing. And this is something that happened when he was a kid because he was not 18 and he got arrested. So then Rachel also says, Teresa is a piece of crap. And she's just like, I have nothing to say to her. Like, I just don't have nothing to say. And so, they're just talking about Teresa. Like, I just can't believe someone who's gone through so much and she went to prison. She comes out of prison and she has had zero growth. Like, she hasn't changed. She hasn't nothing, just still a POS. So Danielle tells Teresa and Jennifer that she's going to stay at Rachel's house in the shores. So Teresa's like, I can't tell you who to be friends with, do you, and God bless you. So then Danielle doesn't want to be. Danielle is like, look, I want my relationship with Rachel. We are good this time. I want this. Just don't hold me hostage. I like Rachel. Okay, so then we got Melissa. So now everybody's headed to the shore. So we got Melissa's house. Margaret is staying with her. We have Jennifer. We have her house. She said that Bill is coming later. We haven't seen Bill last episode, and we didn't see him this episode. Supposedly he's in surgery, blah, 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 blah. So Teresa and Louie, Dolores and Polly are gonna stay with Jennifer with her kids. And then at Rachel's house, she's hosting Jen Fessler, her husband, and Danielle, and Nate. So they get to Rachel's house, and everyone is like, Danielle gets to Rachel's house, and when she comes in, she's like, I want everyone to be cool, be peaceful, be cordial. This is a party for Nate, blah, blah, blah. So John says to her, well, I hope no one pushes me because he will fight back, as we do know. So he like, don't start no mess with me and we gonna be cool. So then Teresa's over there at Jennifer's house talking about peace. Keep our peace. We're going to have peace. This, that, and a half. So Joe is at the house playing with Margaret's wig. And she was like, "Oh, Joe, her and her husband coming downstairs, and Joe's gonna make him espressos." So he has Margaret's wig on, and it's cute, a cute little bob, platinum. And she's like, "You can't be playing with that. That wig is expensive. It's with real hair." And so I liked how she didn't get too all her get her panties in a bunch, right? So she's like, "Let's take a picture." And so her husband, I think his name is Joe too, he takes a picture of them, and it's cute, fun. That's what we're here for, right? So they're leaving Rachel's house. We're back at Rachel's house, and Jen and everybody's leaving. So Rachel is like, "We're gonna make some roadies." And so someone's like, what are roadies? I think it was Jen Fessler. What are roadies? And she's like, drinks for the road. And someone says, I'm pretty sure it probably was Danielle or maybe Rachel, saying, a roadie sounds like a blowjob in a minivan behind a gas station. Not a minivan. Are we in the 80s or the 90s with the minivan? So in the van, they're headed to the party. And so Teresa's telling everyone, well, Teresa has Dolores and, Jennifer in there. So she's pretty much just telling Dolores how they went to the sobriety party for Louis Sr. and how much fun it is and how beautiful his family is. And Melissa's like, Teresa, you deserve that. And so Joe is in the van, and Melissa tells them that Joe is going to officiate Nick's wedding. And so Joe is all like, "You may kiss the bride." And they're like, "No." He's like, "You may kiss the groom." And so he's practicing for his big day. And so Danielle and them are saying Melissa is a good time. They had a lot of fun in Ireland. And Jen Fesser says, I got to be careful because Melissa, when she gets drunk, she likes grabbing my butt, and I got to be careful. It is like, this is true. So Danielle was saying how she didn't invite Jackie to the party. They don't like each other. Jackie has always looked Danielle up and down, right? So Danielle was like, she's just trash. She trashes me about my clothes. She's just a nasty person. So I guess Jackie will be a friend to the show again because she was in last episode. She was in the last episode at Jen Fesser's birthday party. I don't have to see her. Do you guys? Do we need to see Jackie? We don't need a friend of the show. We got enough women. We got enough women. And they all got husbands. So our plate is full. They got kids, they got families. We don't need friends to the show for New Jersey. We just don't. Um and is Jen Fessler, she's still a friend to the show? I'm not even sure. Besties, do you know? Is Jen Fessler an official castmate, or is she still a friend to the show? I need to pay attention to more. So they all get to the party. It's at the waterfront. It's an outdoor venue. Baby, them drinks was pouring. And it seemed like everybody drinks brown, like Kahlua, like the coffee type of drinks. That's all I kept seeing. The decor is pretty nice. They have a raw bar, and and I mean, Nate has a lot of friends. There was some friend that surprised him, and Danielle's like, "Yeah, they flew in today," and it's just plenty. She has a lot of friends too. So Danielle, I did see the cake said, "Thank you, Jesus. Nate survived." And I love that. I just love that. I love that. So Danielle and Nate, they give each other a high five. Such a cute couple. Now you know if you can high five y'all homies, that's a good husband and wife combo. You could be homies, friends, lovers, confidants. Just that's a very well-rounded marriage, and I love that for them. So she says, "Come on, let's go get a drink." So then Margaret's husband rubs her butt and he tells her how good she looks. Now I like that too. Go on, production, put the little razzle dazzle in there. I like that. He hitting on his wife. So what else happened? The girls meet some of Danielle's friends. They're introducing to these girls, and I don't know, are they gonna become friends of the show? So the question that Margaret asked the group, Margaret asked, "Is everyone here their husband's first wife? Are you on your first husband?" I think that's what it was. Are you on your first husband? So pretty much, because she's Joe's second wife, and he's her second husband. So one of the friends said, "I'm his second, and I'm the best. I was the best that he was waiting on." So they high five because they're second wives. Okay. And so actually, Marge says also she's always been a second wife because in her first marriage she was his second wife. So Danielle was making fun. They're eating because the servers are walking around. They got food at this place, and Danielle's poking fun, saying that there wasn't any food at Jen Fester's party, and that's why everybody was acting so psychotic. Everybody was psycho because they was hungry and doing all that drinking. And so here comes Teresa, Jennifer, and Dolores. They show up, and everyone's saying hi. And then Melissa's teasing, like she's speaking to Teresa, like, "Hi, maybe you know how like you see someone you don't like acting hecka fake." And I think maybe Melissa was teasing how Teresa was acting, and so that was funny. Um, so when you see Louis, he's talking to Nate and asking him, about the surgery scare and asking more information about that. Then we get this choir, the Charles Butler and Trinity Gospel Choir performs, and they came all the way from DC, and everyone is up dancing, and I mean they are partying to gospel music, and I'm just like, white people are so different than us. Sorry, I had to get some coffee. Like, y'all grooving the gospel music. But hey, get it how you get it. Praise the Lord. Okay? Praise the Lord because we thank Jesus. Nate survived. So here comes here comes the smoke. So Jen Fessler and Teresa, they talk about pot pens and go smoking and blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there like, huh? Who's smoking? Who got pens? Who's smoking weed? So they go off to talk. So Teresa asks, or she tells Jen Fessler, she's like, Louis met with Frank after New York, and they're talking about the reunion last season. He said everyone met at Margaret's house before the reunion, and so Jen Fessler is like, yes, they were prepping for Louis, because he had the information on them from the private investigators, so they wanted to be prepping for him. And Marge was going to pull out her son's recording of a phone call, but she didn't use it. And so Teresa says, yeah, that she heard Jen Fesser say, you didn't execute the plan correctly. So Jen says she did not say that. Now, Jen Fessler, you are so out of pocket. Did you just not sit down with Margaret in your backyard? Margaret was very clear about how she feels about Teresa. You told her, well, I can just talk to her and ask her about you guys. Margaret told you, don't bring her up to me and don't bring me up to her. She told you that. And then you said, okay. So that was a handshake of approval. You guys went into contract that you would not bring her name up to Teresa. And what are you doing? Bringing her name up to Teresa. So get ready because now you are out of pocket. You about to catch heat. You are about to catch some heat, honey. Oh my God, Jen. And they were saying something like, Marge was looking over there too. And Marge was saying, yeah, Jen is cocktailed up. And you never know what she's gonna say. And then she said, this is weird. And it is weird. Why are you being weird? You can talk to Teresa without bringing up the girl that you just agreed with her that you wouldn't. You got to learn how to be that middle friend. It's a tough job, but it don't have to be. You keep your boundaries when you talk to both people. I'm not going to discuss that. I don't bring that up. We're not going to discuss her. You have to say that. You got to walk a very thin line when you try to be enemies as friends. You gotta do it right. You gotta do it right. Because baby, everybody's quick to throw you under the bus. And then you're doing it in front of everybody. So they're watching your body language. They could probably read your lips. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the body language. So Teresa says that she heard Jen say, you didn't execute the plan. So that you didn't execute the plan correctly. And then Jen tells her, no, I didn't say that. I never said that. They came with manila envelopes and, that was she talking about John Fuda and didn't even open them. And so, they're like, well, I was just. So then Jen Fessler brings up Margaret about how hysterical she was when Louis supposedly had called her son. Why are you bringing up Margaret? So then Teresa says, that's not true. And she swore on her 4 girls. Now, Jen Fessler, you got everything coming. You did exactly what you said you wasn't going to do. You said that's what you wanted to get. You wanted to get to that point. You wanted to ask about that. She told you don't. There's a lawsuit involved. Girl, do you not know that? Oh my gosh. And this is why when you have a friend and she don't like someone y'all know, this is why loyalty is very important. And just me, I'm from back in the day. I won't say exactly how back, but I don't play those games. If my friends don't fool with you, I'm not fooling with you. And this is why you'll never hear me talking about you. I'm not going to be over there kicking it with her knowing you don't like her. She knows if she going to be trying to, you know what I'm saying? No, pick your loyalty and stick to a side. So it's hard to be on both. You're drinking and you're slipping. You're drinking and slipping, Jen. So Teresa's like, well, that's not true. I swear on my 4 girls. Oh boy. So production asked Jen Fessler, does she believe Teresa? And so she pretty much says, she swore on her 4 girls. I want to believe her. So then Jen asked Teresa. So then Jen asked, when Teresa called John in his past, calling him a drug dealer, were you talking about the past or are you talking about now? And Teresa said, no, it was in the past. Like now, the John, they talking about John Fuda. The John Fuda now, he's an amazing husband and father and businessman. And in the confessional, Jen says, I may look disloyal, but I like Teresa. I like Teresa. And it's Jen. Why do you like Teresa? Why do you like Teresa? You got to be very careful with Teresa. Do you know her background? And I mean, we ain't got to go far. She don't talk to her brother. She's jealous of his wife, in my opinion. I wouldn't. I don't think I could be friends with somebody that just don't talk to their brother. I don't know, because Danielle ain't talking to hers. Well, her brother ain't talking to her. So I guess I won't hold that against anybody. But Teresa, okay, okay, Jen Fessler, Teresa gonna get you in trouble. So then we get over here. John is sitting down talking to Danielle's friends, and he's asking their opinion. And he's like, if you had a something about his situation, pretty much like if you were married, you had a good reputation, you got kids, you're married, and some convict is saying that you're a drug dealer, and would you pick the person with the good reputation over the convict's credit? And the friend is like, I'm a ride or die for mine, and this, that, and a half. And so, ugh. And he was like, yeah, okay, okay. Because we all know, John's Fuda's baby mama was in prison with Teresa, and she's a bitter baby mama, and she was talking bad about him. And Teresa is running with this narrative and trying to weaponize them about it. And so, hey, there we have that. That's that on that. So while John is talking to this girl, Rachel is looking at Jen Fessler, and she's like, I am feeling so remorseful. I thought she was my ride or die. And she's over there talking with Teresa. It's just like she's regretting talking to her. She regrets trying to have a friendship with her. She's, like she said, she's remorseful, and the episode ends. So guys, put your comments down in the chat. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can know when the next video comes. And let me know what you rate this episode. I'm going to give it a B. I was all here for it. It was great. It was great. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye, besties.